Bring Lawrence into the conversation. You don't listen attentively. I see they take notes as well. I'm sure you like every other Sierra Leonean don't begin for pay the new tariff for electricity. Generally, waiting are you assessment of this? NEPO don't give waiting make the increases. We all know how the inflation they go. I read the Bank of Sierra Leone the monetary policy statements this morning. And they say inflation don't increase significantly from 44.81% in June 2023 to 50.94% inside August 2023. That's alarming and very high. What's your assessment generally?
Okay, so I will take it from three different perspectives: the good, the bad, and the ugly. For the good side, EDSA, to some extent, has a legitimate case in terms of the impact of inflation and the exchange rates as well, get for playing your part in all of that one. And so some of the points advanced by EDSA as reasons for the increase are legitimate. But again, people are not actually paying attention to some other factors which we may think say EDSA should be held accountable for. So for instance, EDSA, we all know, is both a service entity and a revenue generating institution. So EDSA, they buy bulk from the power producers, them, whether not the IPPs, independent power producers, or car powership or what have you. Then buy from them, then sell GIWI, then make small profits, then pay, then make small profits. So EDSA is supposed to be a profit-making institution because they are rendering a service and we are paying for it. Nobody know they do business for losses. If EDSA is doing business and they run at a loss, it means the institution is not viable and we should question the leadership. And how do they run that institution? Few weeks or about a month ago, we learned that EDSA owe car powership about $40 million or more than that. Now, all this while, even though there has been some changes in the exchange rate, inflation as well, don't they run up, yet people have been paying for electricity. And it says something that when they be reversed to 11 cents, then be they sell you 11 cents, now then be they full up the money. Mm-hmm. My question is that EDSA no will subsidize electricity for we. They don't even have that mandate to do that. So outside them they pull that money they for say that they cover for we. Are they actually subsidizing for us? No. So they need for explain to we how them they pull that money, they outside them they pull that for cover for we. Then again, why is it that, come on, we, after they renegotiate the contract in 2018, then cut and down and what have you, popularizer and all of that stuff. Why is it that EDSA come about for all car powership that much as $40 million? That exorbitant amount. A report by the Ministry of Finance, we didn't do it was published this April 2023, on the debt and loans of state-owned enterprises, government guarantees, loans, and what have you. EDSA, their loan and what have you, where they under is about close to $6 million, $6.something million. Then trust about 70 billion na GT Bank for pay car power. Then trust about 30 billion na UBA for pay car power, all that stuff. So then don't they trust for the pay car power. It means the electricity business is not get profits. Now, why is it that it not get profits? And who are the losses span this? Who are they pay for? Who are the benefits? I will tell you that. Most government MDs, they know they pay EDSA. They owe EDSA pass all. And then they consume electricity pass all. These are institutions which present budget to Ministry of Finance, approved, go to Parliament, Parliament validate and approve and the budgetary allocations. Then they allocate money. Part of those allocations, as I was made to understand, was supposed to go towards servicing the debt for Guma Valley, for EDSA and other utilities and services them. But they are not paying for it. At the same time, the Ministry of Finance is not helping us, because when they allocate their resources, they know that they actually inform the public as to which ministry they don't give XYZ amount and for what purpose. Because before every financial year, when I don't present a budget, the budget don't go through the budget hearings and what have you. They don't approve and everything. Inside that budget, what they present, they make provision for utilities, whether not Guma Valley, whether not EDSA and other things. So if finance they allocate their resources, then the MDAs in turn know they pay EDSA, then governments they treat you for so we are big fool. And you have a player, or should I say a ref, government ref, I'm not talking you as a person, your institution, the institution EWRC, where seem for me biased in all of this, in the sense that, of course, they expect government for ref between government and the people. Let's say the government's lost that game day, not possible. They need to call some of these institutions to account. And the odds are big. What is the impact of all this on the people, the economy, businesses, particularly small and medium-sized businesses? That Kolwata, will be buy Kolwata 500, some side will be sell at 700, 800, 1,000. Now it don't go up, it don't go past that. Bond water safe now, the price don't add. Why is it so? Because people are now paying huge for electricity and they have to pass that burden to the final consumer. And this, in fact, the tourism sector, not for talk, because it affects them greatly. Hotels, bars, restaurants, they rely on energy to run their businesses. And if they are going to pass this increase to the final consumer, it means there will be more burden on the clients going to those places. And if I get more burden, that means then clients get for reduce. There are people that they patronize, they get for reduce. So they get for the losses from customers then. So it has a huge impact on the economy. Secondly, not so EDSA one, they experience inflation. The inflation, we all, even that mommy self where they sell in the market, instead they experience inflation. I tell you, my brother, just a few days back, I was reading a report on revenue mobilization in Kailan district, for example. One of the sides where they get money, now evacuation fees, then charges where they levy on vehicle and transportation of cacao, timber, and other products out of the district. So imagine whether they levy charges on it, so that means they pass all them burden to the final consumer. Electricity is a very big challenge. Again, EDSA, on the for their own side, we can also agree that the electricity infrastructure, the energy infrastructure in this country, a moribund. They have made some frantic efforts, but a lot needs to be done, especially with the MCC compacts, because that money they specifically for come for overall the energy infrastructure and try to rectify this issue once and for all. But we are playing some kind of dirty games, dirty politics as a country. Now they affect we. And this is why I want to do so, Brala, no I don't tell you. All man in the morning, all man they grumble. So now I wonder when I say town hall meeting, people's representatives or civil society organizations or what have you. These are allies of government. The real civil society, you know they go support that in here right now. I swear. Like come up and joke. This is in the morning, everybody right now. Imagine household consumption, when your expendable income. Also, you spend 100,000 leos per month, where at that time they give you something like 41 units. Then they can keep you for at least 25, 26 days a month. Now you have to spend 200,000 leos per month. And the salary, they grow. The salary remains the same. Now transportation has gone up, a whole lot of things have gone up. People are now constrained. How many people are the thief?
Lawrence, the hope of things getting better, not too much there, because I refer to the document we made this morning as well, the monetary policy statement from the Bank of Salon, say, inflation therefore continue until the end of this month. Should Sierra Leoneans brace up with the justification they would get from EDSA, EWIC, if inflation continue, that we will get another increase of tariff?
If you see what happen at Ghana right now, for example, the Ghana Labour Union mobilized a nationwide protest against the Ghanaian government on the economic issues there, the economic burden. Now you can imagine, as much as Ghana's economy is doing bad, they are far better than us when you do the comparative analysis. And when you want to do comparative analysis, because many times I can listen to some people, just inflation all over the world, but they don't take into account the macroeconomic variables. Not only inflation, but look at the country in GDP, in per capita, the money supply, population size, and so many other factors that were necessary for consider when you want to do comparative analysis. They don't take into account all of those. They just say inflation. Inflation the whole side. But we have not been able to manage it well. And we face with a situation where the government is not financially or fiscally responsible for manage the situation. The government is not responsible at all when it comes to fiscal management. That is why our situation is getting worse. And because if you look at our population, but we are just 8 million. 8 million people. 8 million people. With all the mineral wealth and what have you get. Yesterday I was listening to the bank governor where they make mention, and it talked down there for me. I sense the passion, the vexation and everything. Say from 2002 to almost how many years? 10 or 15 years. We done the export minerals up to the tune of 8.something billion. We not get reach 300 million out of that one day as royalties and what have you as a country. That's an error. That's an indictment on the executive and the parliament, because they formulate and ratified all of these agreements. So governments, past, present, have been very much irresponsible when it comes to economic management.
So we the people have already...
And now we that they pass the burden on to. Even when it comes to this fuel for Lamgana, many times they say, okay, there are some kind of external factors where they influence the fuel cost, where they go influence the electricity cost, but they consume and how they pay for their own consumption. It is wrong. It is wrong.
No,
you have people, you have people who are getting up to 50, 60 million leons per month, government appointees them, where at the same time, governments, they give them fuel cheat, 45 liters per week. How are we going to pay you that money? They will give you fuel back again. Enough for me.